A reduction in funding for DEI initiatives is impacting major events like Denver Pride and the Juneteenth Music Festival we learned just this week. Corporations have been pulling back on DEI sponsorships and programs. It's a bit of a trend now, influenced by the Trump administration. These are important community events that nurture and empower our community. So in today's Justice Gap, we just want to take a look at deeper impacts with MSU Professor Dr. Katrina Little. So thank you so much for being here, because we're learning about this along the way. Just this week, the Juneteenth Music Festival came out. They didn't want to, point fingers just yet and say this was DEI cutbacks, but I think you put two and two together and you know why this is happening, right? Why do you think big corporations like this are pulling back? Because it truly affects all of us, no matter, what skin color you have. This affects all of us in Denver.
Absolutely. And thank you for having me. One of the things that big corporations have to consider is what this looks like symbolically, right? So when you have in your mission statement that you support equity, that you support inclusion, but you only do it in times where it's popular or where it's trending, as was stated, and then you pull back when things get a little bit tough or when it becomes the target, then that sends a conflicting message that impacts the trust from the communities in which you reside and from which you've profited. So DEI or corporate institutions and higher ed, for that matter, have to look at what is their true interest. If they're looking to truly not capitalize, but if they're looking to truly engage with communities of color, like in the Juneteenth Festival and in Denver Pride, then they have to figure out where they're willing to stand when it's least comfortable, where they're willing to stand when it's unpopular, because the employees are watching, right? The community is watching, and history is watching.
Well, and you hit the nail on the head, because it was Chevron who came out and said, well, we had a booth at Juneteenth last year, but we didn't, we tracked the numbers and we didn't really get the engagement. People weren't coming by to the Chevron booth. And it's like, that's not why you do things like this,
correct.
Right? It's to support all of us, and I'm just interested, because you go to the Juneteenth Festival, we do every year, and you see all different types of people. You see white families, black, brown, everyone is there, and it just makes me feel like that's an opportunity in a place like Denver where you get to engage in cultures that are not your own.
Absolutely.
And now, they're pushing for funding now, but for something to be scaled back or to not happen, that is truly a travesty.
My family, enjoys it. I was actually sharing with my family what I was coming to talk about today. And so some of those things, what we have to think about is what place does corporate America and government have in bringing in social justice and social equality, right? And maybe we look at how do we view their sponsorship in a way that could be driven towards unity and not just profitability. You see what I'm saying? And so if we truly view these opportunities like the Juneteenth Festival, like Denver Pride, and so many other cultural festivals that we have the privilege of experiencing here in Colorado, if we review them or view them as unifying and as community building, then the corporate sponsorship is imperative so that these communities remain whole.
Yeah, we have less than a minute, but I do want to speak to, there were so many people that reached out to me, livid that this was happening. What kind of message would you send to the folks that want to see these events happen, that it means a lot to them, they look forward to these every single year? Anything uplifting you could say? Obviously you can pull out your pocketbooks and help, because they are asking for funding too, but what message do you have?
Absolutely. Well, in these times, they may be recent, but they're not unfamiliar. And so we have to re-engage with what we look at, or how we look at private and public partnerships, how we leverage different frameworks, and how we, again, use this as an opportunity collectively, whether or not you are from the same community, to protect the communities that are represented and use it as an opportunity to unify instead of divide.
Yeah, that community engagement is imperative to who we all are.
It's who we are in Colorado, and it's who we are as Americans.
Beautifully said. Dr. Katrina Little, as always, thank you.